Hello everyone on YouTube. This is a little different from the usual Zoom chats. I have actually it's quite similar to the Zoom chats, but this time I'm going to talk about someone who's very inspirational to me and to a lot of people in magic. Well, meet Ryan. Ryan, tell us something about you.
First of all, let me say, because of magic, I ran into somebody like Brendan, who, thank God, as busy and as amazing as he is, just even gives me his time. Because right off the bat, time is the most precious thing we give somebody that we can't get back. So thank you, Brendan, and thank you for whoever. As you said, my name is Ryan Loyal. I'm a magician out of Atlantic City, New Jersey, in the States here. And I do have a channel, which I'm sure maybe Brendan will put up later. It's Loyal Magic, but Loyal spelled L-O-Y-L-E, not A-L. A lot of people misspell that. You can't find me, so please know that.
I'm going to put your channel in the description of this video below, so they can just go straight and click on that channel and see the video.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I'll put your Instagram.
So, how I consider myself different than most magicians is I don't do magic just for entertainment, you know. I do magic for entertainment, plus it has a meaning and a purpose. That's my form of magic, because yes, I have a backstory, and I don't want to get into detail, but I had a pretty rough life. But because of that, they're the type of people I bring my magic to. I don't want to bring my magic to people who are already having a good time, a joyous time, right? Why would I do it to people who are paying for vacation? They're already doing okay. I want to bring magic to an area where people are hurting, where things are run down. So, you know, with the slang words, ghettos, hoods, whatever, that's where I like to bring magic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. I think you're one of the people in magic, like most people get into magic to either meet women or to make a little bit of money, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But I think you got into magic for the right reasons. And that's why and a lot of people have given you their time of day, you could say, giving you something precious in this time. So what sort of magic do you perform at the moment? What are you into right now?
Well, I started with street magic, and as I said in my past, I'm just going to touch this, but I'm not going to go into detail. How I got into magic was I was actually homeless in Atlantic City for a little over a year, and I don't ask for pity or nothing. I got myself there. But what I'm saying is there was a time in my life when nobody was there for me because I wouldn't let them, and that's when I introduced the cards about approximately 2.5 years ago, and that is when my whole life turned around. And that's why I'm so passionate about card magic specifically, and I do it to, like I said, homeless people, drug addicts in the street. In a whole, I use magic as a tool to connect with them. And I want to inspire them to find the gifts within themselves to better their own life. Because I believe everybody has a gift. And I can tell you have a gift, but you got to believe it yourself. It does no good if I just tell you. You got to be able to recognize it with yourself.
Mm-hmm. I definitely can see you as doing public speaking and that sort of thing about this. And I really can see a bright future for you, where you're going to go really far with your message. And I think most people watching this should be inspired by this, to go out there and perform magic and just put a smile on people's faces. So speaking about that, do you have any stories that you can share with us about your
Oh my God, yeah. I'll share the one where I shared with a friend of mine on my last meeting, or last speaker a few days ago. So like, if you guys don't know Atlantic City, it's pretty much, it's like Las Vegas, but in the East Coast. We call it Dirty Vegas because it's cold here and everything. But so it's a casino city type atmosphere. So you can imagine what the people are here. It's a party town. So I'm walking through one of the casinos, and the locals here, like any big city, there's gangs and everything. And there was, unbeknownst to me, I'm about to cross through where these two gangs are, I guess, tension is rising. And, you know, here I come. I'm like, you know, anybody like magic? You know, like a big doofus. And not one of the gang members yet, but an actual bystander said yes. And so I got 3 or 4 of them, and they start freaking out. And then I guess that draws one of the particular gang members over, and then it shifted those gang members. And then before you know it, the other gang members are watching. And then it was like a 15, 20-minute performance. And then the head of security came up to me afterwards. He says, Ryan, he goes, man, caught impeccable timing, you know, destiny, whatever you will, because you came through at the right time. He goes, I've never seen a situation diffuse like that ever. They were worried. Seriously, we're going to call the cops and everything because, you know, people got weapons and stuff. And I just happened to be walking through. And again, the power of magic, you know, I'm not magic, man. Magic is what happens. You know, I'm just a conduit, a tool to let the magic go through. And it's just so awesome, man, when your heart's into something, man. I hope you guys, if you don't find something that you love and have a passion for, that you do, because to me, it changes your whole perception of life. Yeah.
So how is it that you make magic in that way? What is your approach, would you say? Like, are you mainly a card? Do you mainly use cards, or what sort of tools do you use?
Yeah, I mean, I mainly use cards. I start off with cards, and I branch off into rubber band magic, app magic. For those of you who don't know, it's like iPhone magic, stuff like that. And I'm starting to get into mentalism now. But you know, it's funny. I used to approach people And it's hard. It's a lot harder than you think. And here's the common response, you know, they're like, oh, were you some magician? I'm like, yeah, I'm a magician. Oh, all right, let's see your trick. That's how it always starts. And they used to offend me at first, but I'm like, after about the millionth person, I'm like, all right, apparently this is how it's going to go. But it winds up helping you benefit your reaction. And then within 30 seconds, man, you see that transformation and you blow their mind. They're like, man, who is this guy? How, blah, blah, blah. And it's the coolest thing ever. And it's a high you get.
So you use pretty much, I would say, generic tools like cards, rubber bands, mentalism, you know, cell phones, that sort of thing. But then you make it personable, isn't it? You don't actually go as a show off. Your magic.
Oh, no, absolutely not. You know, to me, could be my opinion, and I think most magicians would agree with me. Though you could have a guy who's the most experienced card magician on earth, but if that poor fella does not have the tool or capacity to connect with people, unfortunately, that talent is a waste as far as performing for people goes, because I want them to like me first before the card trick. So a lot of times I won't even have the cards in my hand. I'm just such an outgoing, personable guy. And you know the cool things about being a magician for me? I don't have to put on an act. I'm just myself. That's the coolest thing. And I pretty much get along with everybody. So I'll start talking to somebody. Before you know it, 5 minutes go by. I'm pretty sure they already like me at that point. And I said, oh, before I go real quick, believe it or not, I'm a magician. Do you mind if I just show you something real quick? I got to practice this anyway. Go ahead, man. That's how it starts.
Yeah. And what do you wear? Because you're a pretty big guy. I mean, I don't know if you are quite intimidating, but you just wear your cap at the back and you have like just a t-shirt and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much a city guy. You know what? I didn't know what my brand was going to be at first, but everybody recognizes me with the backwards hat now. So everyone's like, you look like a baseball player, magician. I'm like, let me just run with that then. I never seen or heard one of them yet. And my height does stick out. As you said, I'm 6'6". So pretty hard to miss if someone's in a casino and say, someone's doing magic? Yeah, a big tall guy, backwards hat. You pretty much know who that is.
Right,
you know?
Right. And that you've cornered your brand, I guess, in the market. I could say
like the American middle class, blue collar worker magician. That's what I like to say. Because I wear jeans and work boots and I go out and do it. But of course, if I have a nice, elegant affair, I can get dressed up too. Don't forget that. Yeah. But most of the time, I'm just dressed down in working man's clothes.
Excellent. And what is, are you working at the moment besides magic, or is that all what you do?
Okay. I was for 20 years, and I quit that because I always knew I had a calling in my life, but I didn't know what that was until I got into magic. So great money, by the way, you know, over 60 US American dollars an hour, which is amazing money. But you know what? One thing I learned in life, it's not about money. Right now, you can tell me, Ryan, I'll pay you $10,000 a week to go to Vegas, do a show, but I'll give you $500 a week to stay in the streets and help homeless people. You better believe I'm still helping those homeless people, because that's what it's about for me, as long as I get by. Every performance for me is pretty emotional. I'm a very intuitive person. And if you guys ever see my videos, I mean, lately, because of the whole virus thing, I don't have any performances, but if you scroll back, you know, I've been told, you know, I have some great reactions, you know, and everything. And well, I guess I'll start with reception first. I see myself, a lot of times I get the reaction, oh my God, you're so amazing, blah, 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 blah. You know, and I'm so thankful that I don't think that. I really don't. Do I think I'm horrible? No. I think I'm an okay magician, but I hope I want to keep that mindset, because that's what's going to keep me humble and modest. And I'll always keep striving for perfection. I think Brendan will vouch for this too. As a magician, you just never can get that move perfect, man. You just keep practicing and practicing the rest of your life. And I'm a classic pass guy. But so that's how I see myself. And yeah, man, so the story. One of my most emotional performances, let's say performances, right? As again, I'm on the street, and I remember this, I hate to use the word crackhead, but it was a lady with addiction. You could safely assume that. Comes up to me, and she's like, you want to buy some diamonds? And shows me, you know, of course, a fake watch. I said, honey, I got more diamonds than you. Bam, pull out a deck of cards. She's like, uh-oh. She's like, I messed with the wrong guy. I said, come on, honey, sit down. And so I got a little group there, and in the Bay Area of Atlantic City, and there's all bandos, abandoned houses around me. I see her like peeking out the windows. I'm like, come on, guys. I'm like, let's go. Let's get your butts out here. Come on, I got some magic coming on. You know, you know how to fit in when you're local. You know what I mean? I walk like I'm from here, because I am from here. And they come out, and there's one lady, Yolanda, her name. She says, I'm so depressed, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, honey, I'll do the best I can to make her smile. At least I can tell you that. She goes, all right. And I made her smile. But afterwards, we sat down on a step, and I had fortunately a cigarette with her. And I told her she was beautiful, you know, and she cried. And I thought about that, and I still think about this day. When's the last time you think someone told her she's beautiful? She had like no teeth, her face was sunken in, her eyes, you know, real bony right here. And it's like that was magic right there. I had no cards. Just by saying that, I saw her go back somewhere in her head to a happy time, and that's where the magic is.
Now, when you perform on the streets, because some people watching this are thinking, oh yeah, Ryan's performing on the streets. You're not doing it for money. You're not doing actually street performing. You're going out there performing for the homeless people and just people who don't get a chance to watch magic, you would say. So that's not how you make your money. But when you're going, do you film these things, and who helps you film it?
The first year and a half, it was just me by myself. Just putting the nose to the grindstone, going out every day what I had to do. Even when it was freezing out, I would go outside, do it for 20 minutes. Vietnam, I go sit in a Starbucks and warm up or something. But yeah, I need somebody to help me. And one thing, especially with my past, I've learned in my life is I can't fully trust or depend on anybody except myself. At least that's my perspective on that. So I would a lot of times hand my cell phone to a spectator. Yes, I would trust, another homeless person with a very expensive phone, because I think once people who are stuck in that rut know you have a good heart, they really don't mess with you. They know you're there for them. Christmas Day, lunches to the homeless and perform magic. That video is on my channel. That was an amazing experience. And they all thought I was a cop at first.
Right.
I actually had to lift up my shirt and show them I didn't have a wire, because I'm, big tall white guy in a predominantly, African American city. And yeah, they're like, I was like, when's the last time you saw a 6'6", where's Waldo pajama pants, red and white, wearing backwards hat, card magician cop?
So what do you want to do in the next few years? Where do you see yourself?
Well, Brendan, here's the thing. When I fell in love with magic, I said, you know what? I found out what my goals and dreams. That was my dream. I don't want to be the best magician in the world. I want to be the most impactful. That's what I want to be. And I'm giving it 150%, man. All I got. Like, I've even risked relationships and everything. Let me tell you something. Cards were there for me when nobody else was. So this is my first love. I love my girlfriend too. I'm just saying. But so the next few years, I'm going to be realistic though. I'm going to give 150%. Say 3-4 years from now, I don't get much forward. Okay, I'll accept the fact that something I can always do on the side for extra money, and then I'll choose a career path. But until then, believe it or not, this is why I think everything's meant to be. I'm in a situation where, thank goodness, my girlfriend makes good money, because I really have nothing coming in, man. And I'm trying to get unemployment. And she said, honey, she goes, I got a lot of support, especially from local people. They're like, man, just do it. Just go for it. I got a lot of support. It feels like it's meant to be, And just give it all I got. I don't want to lay in my deathbed going, what would my life been like if I didn't go after my dream? Worst case scenario, I still die with integrity because I know what my life would have been like. Oh, man, I got to go inside. It's got to get the lawnmower out here. Sorry about that, guys. It's so beautiful out. Everybody in the street feels like they want to mow their lawn. So here I am inside.
No problem. So yeah, I think that's a great thing for people to see this actually, is because you are living your dream, and I think most people should see that and learn something from that. So even if I'm not saying that to people who don't come back to me later. Oh, you told me quit my job and do magic full time. I am jobless now. So that's not what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is that if you are making your living with magic or whatever, and you're doing nothing, just go out there and keep performing, keep doing your thing, right? Have you got any residencies? I think you had before the whole situation.
I did. I'm doing pretty well, and I could always be doing better, but I see the growth starting to happen, Brendan. And I was talking to Brendan before this, and I was telling him, just like knowing him. Brendan's known me for a while now. I'd say about a year and a half, right? And it's the connections through magic. And now the more videos I'm doing, the better video quality. Everything's getting better, which is getting me more exposure. I do a lot of volunteer time in my local area. This past Christmas, I did a cancer ward, people getting chemotherapy, performing magic. That was like I always volunteer on the holidays, and that was like, man, I guess I really can't think of one experience that wasn't emotional for me, to be honest with you. But
so if anyone watching this and maybe they are in your area in America, I have got a few viewers out there. What if they want to get into this? Where can they approach? Can they have? Do you have any organizations that they can go to perform for free, and just to perform for the homeless or something like that? Magic for the homeless. Is there any organization?
There's tons of places as far as performing goes. I do wish there was a local, IBM, International Brotherhood of Magicians. Unfortunately, there isn't one close by, because Atlantic City, we're 40 minutes east of Philadelphia and 2.5 hours south of New York. So, the first year it was very lonely.
About starting something where magicians can actually message you and say, hey, I want to join your team of people performing to the homeless. You know, maybe you can have a whole website, Magic for the Homeless, and you know, just have volunteers who can come in and give their time.
That's a great idea, man. Absolutely. I got a bunch of brainstorm written down. Like even the summertime, if there is a summer this summer, I want to do something like an inner city youth program for the kids to get out of trouble. Because listen, you don't have to want to be a magician to get involved. Look, it teaches good social skills, communication, and plus, what kid doesn't want to be sneaky and deceiving, but for a good reason? You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's how. Look,
a lot of the youth to get into magic.
Yes, exactly, and it's like, it's just something you never forget. I wish I would have gotten to it younger, but apparently it just wasn't meant for me to do that then. It was meant for me to live my life, unfortunately, the way I did. But when I stopped being angry at the past and I started embracing the past, because it realized it made me who I am today, man, I appreciate every little thing, man. I drop a penny, I'm picking it up. Not because I'm cheap, because I know the value of stuff. That's why, you know? And it's like, I can't tell you how thankful I am for everything in my life, man. And yeah, I cry a lot, dude. I'm a sensitive guy, but that's the gift in the connection I make with people. And I think people see that in me. Because at first, it's funny you mentioned, I thought when I started going into bars to perform, I was like, oh man, I want to get in so much trouble. All these guys are going to think, who's this hot shot walking in? But it's just not the way I come off, man. And I've never had a problem. In 2 years, I've had one heckler. That's it. And
it just goes to show you that likability factor plays such an important role. You know, if people like you, they're not going to heckle you, you know?
Exactly. He's going to be like, oh, let's go mess with this really nice guy. Who does that? You know? And I encourage people to follow their dreams. That's what I do. You know, like you said, don't just quit your job. And I mean, listen, the way life unfolds, when stuff happens, you know when you know. Like when you fall in love, you just know. I just know this is for me.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you for your time, Ryan. I hope people enjoy this, and I hope they get or learn something from this, and maybe just inspires them to get out there and perform for the homeless or just people around them, you know?
Yeah.
So thank you for this. Well, thanks for people watching this, and I'll see you very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.